Stefanos Tsitsipas was just in here, and I'm going to quote to you what he said. He said that it's constant bullying. He was probably a bully at school. I don't like bullies. He has a very evil side to him. That's what he said.
I don't know what to say. I'm not sure how I bullied him. He was the one hitting balls at me. He was the one that hit a spectator. He was the one that smacked it out of the stadium. I didn't do anything. I was actually apart from me just going back and forth to the umpire a fair bit, I did nothing towards Stefanos today that was disrespectful.
A lot of you might not know exactly what I'm talking about, so here's some context. To start, after losing the second set, Stefanos Tsitsipas did this. Tsitsipas recklessly hit a ball into the crowd and hit someone. Obviously, in response, Kyrgios began yelling at the chair umpire and the supervisor to default Tsitsipas, referencing what happened with Novak Djokovic at the 2020 US Open. Obviously, it's not the best way to get your point across, so Kyrgios became the villain. It's really important to note that had Kyrgios done this, there's no doubt that he would have been defaulted. In response to Kyrgios just simply winning points, Tsitsipas became more and more frustrated, and he also did this. Are you legitimately going to tell me that he was trying to hit the ball and play on this? For the second time, he recklessly hit a ball into the stands on purpose, possibly injuring people. But no, Tsitsipas is the bully victim. A perfect way to compare this is if he had a pistol. Tsitsipas aimlessly fired 2 shots in the vicinity of people. Oh, at least you didn't hit anyone, they'll say. It's such a bad narrative, yet Kyrgios is the problem because he was talking in between serves, and he cursed at the chair umpire while he was making a valid point, by the way. If Kyrgios had done all of this, he'd be chastised all over the media, and he would have been defaulted on the spot. Stefanos Tsitsipas is a hypocrite. In this next clip, you can see what I'm talking about.
Constant talking, the constant complaining. I mean, I'm about to serve and there's a big gap there that there's no tennis being played, which is the most important thing in the court. We're there to play tennis.
Hey! I'm talking with you. This talking is not allowed to talk when I serve. I mean, I don't care. It's just not fair play. Yeah, I know, but that's why. That's why it's UTS. That's why you shouldn't talk.
Enjoy now and then we go back.
So you don't agree with me?
Huh?
You don't agree with me? For you, it's normal.
I don't care. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I know, because it's your father.
No, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if
He's not talking.
I don't give a shit if your coach doesn't.
He's not talking because he's respectful. That's it. He's not talking. That's why you don't care. Because he's the only one to do it on tour.
People have been doing it in
He's
the
the only
past and
one.
I don't care.
He's the only one, man. He's the only one.
Concentrate on my game.
That's why you don't care.
Tsitsipas has this huge problem with his serve being interrupted, but he's indifferent when his dad talks while another player is serving, which is objectively worse, by the way. The audacity to claim he's a bully victim and be a hypocrite like that. Now let's talk about all his toilet breaks. Last year, Tsitsipas got under a lot of fire for taking extremely long toilet breaks, in which it was rumored and inferred that he got coaching from his dad, which is illegal. Andy Murray and Sasha Zverev both had extreme complaints while he was in the bathroom for upwards of 8 to 10 minutes, in which you could see his father typing on his phone during the broadcasts. Obviously, we don't know whether it's true or not, but we can infer that he's a cheater. But yes, he has such a high respect for the game. Nick Kyrgios is super disrespectful, but he's willing to violate the rules and get coaching illegally. And it's pretty easy to infer this because he's been very outspoken about how he wants coaching to be involved in matches.
Man, you better shut your fuck up, okay?
Lenny.
Hey, Stefanos, you want to look at me and talk?
Lenny.
You have some problems, you go emergency toilet for 5 minutes, urine, and then you say, then you hit let and you don't say sorry, you think you're a good kid? Look at me. Hey, look at me, huh? You don't look at me. He started it. He started it.
I know, but stop it.
He started it.
Yes, but...
Yes, he started it. He said bullshit Russian. You think this is normal? I answered him because he doesn't know how to fight. He's a small kid who doesn't know how to fight.
T'es plus intelligent que lui, arrête. T'as gagné?
If he doesn't say anything, I have no problem.
He's allowed to call Kyrgios a bully when he just curses out other players for no real reason. All it shows is just that he's a spoiled, selfish brat who's willing to instigate with other players without any consequence. You can see it in the level of disrespect for his opponents and disregard for the rules during his toilet breaks. During his match today, he got cranky that he was losing and he acted irrationally. The thing is, Kyrgios has had much worse outbursts than this, all of which he ends up getting vilified for, yet his opponents in the past have never acted as immaturely and childishly as Tsitsipas. Mostly because he's a brat who was frustrated things weren't going his way, so he acted recklessly and violently against his opponent and the spectators. It just makes him so unlikable that he always feels he's in the right. He has no problem cursing out his opponents, he has no problem disregarding the rules, but he always keeps this pompous attitude about himself. Just in this video, you can see that he's at least 4 occasions where Mutet, Murray, Zverev, and Medvedev all got frustrated with Stefanos Tsitsipas because he's immature, disrespectful, and he's just not a very likable guy to the other players on tour. He thinks it's fair to talk about Kyrgios being disrespectful to him and disrespectful to the game when he violates the rules and the respect of other players. I don't think that's fair. The last thing that I want to briefly talk about is the ABC broadcast. John McEnroe was profusely complaining about Kyrgios' actions, but this is literally the introductory paragraph on his Wikipedia page, and it's the first thing that shows up just simply when you look up his name. On the broadcast, he kept saying Kyrgios deserved Tsitsipas purposefully trying to hit him with the ball, yet his actions were just as vile, if not more, during his career than Kyrgios. And keep in mind, this was one of the more mild actions that Kyrgios has had in his career. He's had plenty worse. Tsitsipas was just not in control of his emotions, he was immature, he was childish, and he acted irrationally. The thing is, the only reason that John McEnroe was on the broadcast is because he was known for his wild actions. Without him being known for having those crazy outbursts, yelling at chair umpires, yelling at fans, he would not have been on that broadcast. Yet he has the audacity to say that Kyrgios is in the wrong when he's done arguably worse. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'd appreciate it even more. Nick Kyrgios' actions were not terrible. They were not directed at Stefanos Tsitsipas, and they were very frank. He might have delivered it poorly to the chair umpire and the supervisor, but he did not disrespect Tsitsipas in any way. As you can see, Tsitsipas claimed something he said was disrespectful, but he doesn't show that kind of respect to his opponents. He has no reason to believe he's better than them. He has no reason to believe he's entitled more than them. The reason why there was a problem was because Stefanos Tsitsipas was losing, he got upset, he was cranky, he acted immaturely, he acted irrationally, and he acted really rude and disrespectfully to Wimbledon and to Nick Kyrgios. And that is why Stefanos Tsitsipas is terrible for tennis.